I'm a GS4. I work as a store associate, which means I know I've been trained in all the departments of the store. I'm full-time. Lower paying position. I don't get housing or government assistance in any way, except for maybe COLA. That's only an extra maybe $100 depending on what the euro rate is. My husband, he makes roughly 1,100 euros. We've been living off his paycheck since I've been terminated. I was terminated on June 22nd, 2012, while I was out on sick leave for the emotional distress that was caused by this whole incident of not being extended overseas with the pull from no one really helping me and being sent to different departments that really had no need of being sent to, such as equal employment opportunity. I was sent there to file my complaint when I should have been going to the Office of Special Counsel to file my complaint, since discrimination of sexual orientation is covered underneath the Office of Special Counsel and not equal opportunity employment. I've gone all the way from EEO to OSC, OPM, and even up to the White House for help, and each department tends to shove it off on to another department. The White House said they don't deal so much with DOD affairs, equal opportunity. They're working with it, but it's not really in their playing field. So I went to OSC. OSC said, we're not going to do anything because right now it's up in the EEO. The only thing Office of Special Counsel did do for me, though, is they did a part where they blamed my situation on DOMA, and then continued with another part saying that I may have probable cause for whistleblowing. But I'd still have to go through the Merit Protection Board for that, since I'm already in the Merit Protection Board for my termination. I'm currently in mediation with that. The mediation isn't going so well because they keep downstepping the offers. I don't make a lot of money when I work, but I make enough money to make it and to get by and be able to support myself and my family with the aid of my husband's paycheck. We don't live extravagantly, but we live. They offered me 2 positions, one in Oklahoma and one in LA. They were both part-time positions, making roughly $600 every 2 weeks, which is about $1,200 a month. I believe that's before taxes. I'm not quite sure on the amounts. All I know is a GS3 Step 10. What they make, I don't know. When I asked for the specifics of details, I was never replied to. In order to make certain educated decisions, I've asked for certain information from DOD, the commissary, and to date I'm still waiting on those answers. Roughly waiting for this information for about 2 months. I asked, if not longer, I asked the original set for the information I needed when I was threatened with removal, proposed for removal. I never got that information then. Then when I had to give my documents to the opposing counsel, I sent those questions again and haven't gotten any information. That was 2 months ago. To make educated guesses about the moves to do the 2 positions offered, I asked on a Thursday evening, my time in Germany, for specific details, and I didn't get anything come Friday night, COB. The mediator that I have, that I'm dealing with, has started out decently. I thought maybe he was understanding. I understood I had to make some compromises because there's certain parts of the situation that no one can change until laws change. So I agreed to go downward. I agreed to accept either another full-time position or a position of lesser value, but no lesser than $2,000. Which would lead into the next, when they offered only those two positions at part-time with a max of 24 hours a week, 48 hours a pay period. To me, those offers are at the very bottom of what DECA can offer. I don't expect them to create positions, but I know there's got to be another way to where we can both agree on something equal, not something that would actually make me feel as if I'm still being punished for something that I didn't do or for doing something wrong. Some of the harassment that I've had to face is being told flat out from my HR department that to take my issue into consideration for an extension would just set precedents for employees in similar situations. The similar situations are for heterosexual couples with wives that just don't want to go to the United States, period, or with children they are still in school and they don't want to pull them out of school, or the situations that they were referring to, which really don't apply to homosexual couples, because, or at least homosexual binationalities, because we're subjected to DOMA, and that prevents a lot of our decisions. After I was supposed to be PCSing on the 10th of March, my manager and my husband's manager were seen talking together. They normally would have no reason to talk together. They're two different organizations doing two different things. One's a fast food entity and one's a grocery store. Shortly thereafter, my husband was pretty much threatened by his supervisor, or his manager, saying he had to watch his back, and was up in his face. And when asked to back off, he wouldn't. My husband was the one that was written up, saying that he wouldn't calm down. My husband's been written up for leaving things on when it could have been very well that the manager in that store earlier left it on or turned it on prior and forgot about it. He's constantly working night shift, even though they have 3 different people that can be doing alternating shifts. He works long hours. And as an LN, they have laws that protect him. His contract says 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, and they have him coming in 9 hours, 8 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. As a store associate, I am to be able to go wherever they needed me, but oftentimes they would send me into departments such as the front end to work 4 hours there and then do the remainder 4 hours on the stocking floor, still maintaining my normal work duties of the aisle that I was assigned. And that's, with all that coming in, our orders were going up, and we were still short personnel. Then after I had contacted HR about it, asking if that's legal, I was told that they were able to do that. When I objected and said, however, this is splitting shifts up for more than a couple of weeks, it was for a couple months that they did this. They started putting me in the deli for 2 hours and then the rest of the time on the floor. Not so much they don't do that with a lot of employees. We're all, in all of our contracts, it says in any other tasks assigned, they try to train everybody. but it seemed more rough with me. Granted, I was a store associate, but still being able to maintain my normal workflow and then having to break off 4 hours.
Marco Wade. I work at AFES in Vilsec, and I've been together with Thomas for 11 years. At the base on Vilsec, I work on an army post. It's a GTA Vilsec Graf Vilsec Hohenfels. It's the largest training area in Germany, and I work for AFES. And I'm a supervisor at Popeye's Chicken. Well, at Popeye's Chicken, I've been working there for about a year now. Before that, I worked for Subway for 7 years. And Subway went concessions, and I got forced to go to Popeye's Chicken against my will, but that was the only position that was given to me after they decided to make Subway concessions. Yes, I am working for the DOD because when Thomas and I came back to Germany from living in the States for a year, my mother had passed away, and we had to take care of my sister and her newborn baby. And we knew when we came to Germany, the easiest way to get a job was through the DOD. With him, it was AFES at first, and with me, it was also AFES. My citizenship is German. My mother is German. My actual father is German, and my dad passed away, and my stepdad was a U.S. soldier stationed in Grafenwehr, Germany, and that's who my sister's actual father is. He lives in Kansas right now. I was raised first in North Platte, Nebraska, and then in South Dakota, Rapid City, South Dakota. Thomas and I were married 18th of March in 2011, and the thing was that Thomas and I have been together for such a long time, and it was always a decision back and forth. Get married, not get married. When we lived in the States, it was impossible to get married because marriage over there has no value for gay people. Straight. Or straight, yes, there is. But anyway, we decided to get married in March, and because of that, there is really no reason to go to the States for us, considering the fact that our marriage isn't legal in the United States. Now, Thomas's best friend, Jared, is actually married too. He's also gay. And he moved to Canada. This is like a citizen of the United States leaving the United States because he has to leave his own country to Canada for his marriage to be legal. We got married on March 18th. I remember that like it was yesterday. It was Friday when we got married. And it was a long while before Thomas got the weekend off until they finally found out why he needed that weekend off. That was a Friday. On Sunday, they had actually called him back into work for a store reset in Graf, which is like 5 miles away from here. And it started then. It started that Sunday. 7 days after we got married, Thomas got thrown this piece of paper in front of his nose. He has to sign this or he's going to be fired. It was the paperwork that states that his 5-year rule is over and he can be transferred to another station of duty for a decade. This is 1 week after we got married. Nevertheless, it didn't take long. He got a job offer to North Dakota